When you are a focused person, you are a focused individual. You prioritize that which is most important in your life and to your life. When you are a focused individual. Perhaps there are many of you out there, you are focused individuals. And I want to talk to you in this particular conference about how important it is that you remain focused. Because it is your focus that is going to enable you to reach your destiny. Accomplish your goals. Even if there are certain ones that perhaps you had your sights set on, if you feel like they are not attainable right now, you must understand that your footsteps are still ordered by the Lord. And perhaps that is the reason why a lot of you are experiencing so many haters. Perhaps others of you, obstacles and haters, which haters do try to serve as obstacles, but haters are just individuals that are irrelevant to your life. They're just individuals that have a certain outlook on your life, a certain feeling towards you and your life, but they have nothing to do with your life, and they have nothing to do with you. Only you can give a hater credibility. So with that said, welcome to the channel, and welcome to the conference. All honor, glory, and praise be to our one and only Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In order to accomplish a goal, you must adopt a certain type of strategy. Because life itself is strategic. Your enemies are strategic. I believe that everything pertaining to this life bears some sort of strategy. See, you must understand that when you have a strategy in your goings and your comings, that is you utilizing some form of control over your own life, your own circumstances, and your own situations, and your own personal goals. You have to be strategic in life to make it in life. You have to be. People that are strategic are always 10 or more paces ahead of their enemies. Always. They do everything with a purpose behind it. Others may not know, but the strategic individual knows. Because I believe a lot of people out there that are strategic, that's what it is going to take for you to obtain a certain specific goal, perhaps, that you have. And so a lot of times you could be utilizing people that don't even know they're being utilized. And the people that you are utilizing are your enemies. Your enemies are working for you and they don't even know it. Because your enemies are always the type of individuals that feel as if they have the upper hand. They always are ignorant enough to feel as if you are confiding in them about something. Or that you are including them in something. Or that you are blind to their masks and facades. Or that you are ignorant to their tactics and their stratagem. Their stratagem. Your enemies will always, I believe, overestimate themselves and underestimate you. All the while not knowing they are pawns being used in a bigger game. Where you stand not only as the manipulator of the game, but you yourself be in the game. But your enemy won't know it. Your enemies won't know it unless you reveal your hand. So, in fact, your hand must be played but it must be played silently and in secrecy. You must be discreet. To obtain what you want in life nowadays, you have to be discreet. That means keep people out of your business and keep people out of your faces that don't mean you any good. And a lot of people may be having a difficult time discerning, well, who means you any good and who doesn't. Listen, try the spirit by the spirit. If your spirit is pure and genuine, and it feels as if it is in agreement with somebody else's, I would say I believe that's something that you can trust, because there's no deeper intimacy than analyzing somebody else's spirit against your own and finding that there is compatibility with it, or either there's a differentiation there. Because the spirit of a man or the spirit of a woman cannot lie. Smiles can lie. Words can lie. Actions can lie. But the spirit of a man does not lie. Or the spirit of a woman does not lie. Because the spirit of you is the candle of the body. That's what shows the most inner parts of who you are, your character, your substance. So when you are able to tap into somebody else's spirit, that's how you're able to compare whether or not if their spirit is in agreement with your own. And that's how you know, I feel in these last days, who is okay and who is not okay, and who to deal with and who not to deal with. And it is even more important when you find yourselves in certain environments that you know who you can and cannot trust and deal with. You have to try the spirit by the spirit. And I'm very sharp in discerning spirits. So me personally, I know exactly who to deal with and who not to deal with. I know exactly, because I know who my spirit agrees with. And if I have any type of question at all, I have the assistance of the Holy Spirit, which is the spirit of Father, to reveal any unknown thing to me that I may be pondering or questioning. Try the spirit by the spirit. And that's how you have to move this day and age. And see, the thing about your enemies is your enemies won't even know that you are walking by the spirit and not by the flesh. Your enemies operate in the flesh. They think because they behave certain ways that they've earned your trust. You know, meaning, a case in point, like, let's just say your enemies think because, I don't know, what could be used as an example? Let's just say you all sit down to lunch together at the same table. Your enemies think because you are appearing to break bread with them that you trust them. They don't even know you've already tried their spirit, perhaps. You have to walk by the spirit. Perhaps, I don't know if that was a good example or analogy or whatever analogy of what I'm trying to say, the comparisons of what I'm trying to say by trying the spirit. But I think you all can, or at least some of you probably can get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you got to play a devil to defeat a devil. That's what I'm talking about. Let them think that you guys are okay when you're not. A lot of people may say, oh, that seems like deception. Who cares if it's an enemy? I mean, I should say that. Lord forgive me. I'll just say this. It's not deception. It is in a way, but it's not a bad deception, because you can never let your enemies know your hand. You have a right to protect your hand, meaning your moves out here. The only thing, one of the main things that your enemies want to know, other than your business, which is your hand, which is your business. They want to know how you're moving out here. Your goings and your comings. What's going on in your lives. They want to know where you live. How do you support yourselves? Perhaps they know perhaps they know you work. They may know where you work, but they still want to know, well, how are you getting that done? And how are you getting this done? They know what they know as it pertains to where they see you at, but they don't know your hand. Somebody's going to get that. You can have multiple hands that are none of your enemy's businesses. Are you following me out there? You can have multiple hands that are none of your enemy's business. Move in silence. Because the only thing that your enemies are trying to do is collect data. Tote and haul news. Because they're secretly jealous of you anyway. They're jealous of you. A lot of people still may not believe that there are people that envy them like that, but they do. And you know, one thing that I just thank God that I have such a sharp discernment. You know, I'll go on and share this. I had somebody smile and speak to me a little while back, but their energy projected anger and a dislike of me, and both transpired simultaneously together. Somebody out there is going to get that. So they weighed and were acting friendly, but their energy came at me at the same time. And then I also know who they walk with, and I know they walk with somebody who I know don't like me, and I don't like them either. Energy don't lie. So no matter what actions, movements that person had in waving or speaking or whatever, that energy came out at the same time. So what do you think I'm going to run with? Energy. And not only that, I see who the person hangs with, so I already know. That's a no right there. If you ever want to know who you're dealing with, look at who they deal with on a personal level. Trash gets personal with trash. Birds of a feather flock together, y'all. I mean, it's like I cannot stress that enough. If you know there's somebody that doesn't like you, then guess what? The people they hang with don't either. I don't care how friendly they are. Put them all in the same bucket and dump them all in the same dumpster. Now, in another flip of the coin, if you've tried somebody's spirit and you find their spirit to be, you haven't found any flaws or anything in it, but they are still around people you don't like, you can still trust that person's spirit, because perhaps there are other obligations and other hands that come into play as to why they have to roll like they roll. Me personally, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, but I believe you could always trust a person's spirit, because that's who they are. Regardless of the external, their spirit is who they are. But in the other situation where the person was friendly but standoffish and their spirit hit me, it was like anger. No, I already know. That's a no. And, you know, I don't know the person anyway, but I'm just saying, it just pays to stay focused on your goals and just let your enemies do what they do. And that's be deceptive. You know, I had somebody the other day that I said something to. I don't know the person. I'm not friends with the person, but of course I was just speaking whatever I felt about something. And before I could get it out of my mouth good, I know the person went back and told what I said, because I know the person totes a lot of news and a lot of gossip. And the person went back and, I'm pretty sure the person went back and told something that I said, and I don't care, because I don't bite my tongue. And anything I say about anybody, I'll tell them to their face. I don't care who it is. If I feel a certain way about somebody, I'll tell them to their face. I don't need no news toter. But to the news toters out there, I would say thank you, because you served your purpose. But anyway, the person went back and told the person something that I said. And I meant what I said too, every word. And still do. And as a result, of course, you know, the individual that I had said something about tried to come back at me in a foul type of way. And that didn't work either, because what they tried to come back at me with, I could kill us about. And kill us about them too, on top of all of that. And could kill us about the news toter, the person who went and told them what I said. Because what I said, yes, I said it and I meant it. If I said it. Whatever. But anyway, because I don't bite my tongue. I won't raise to bite my tongue about nothing that I got to say. I'm grown. Fully grown. Grown right here. Okay. And so anyway, it just goes to show that people that haul news. And see, I've been around news toters all my life. All in high school. There was a news toter in my neighborhood when I was a kid. Somebody that just kept stuff stirred up all the time. This troublemaking girl. And, you know, she would come around us and hear what we had to say. And then she'd go back and tell what we said. And then she'd come around us talking about the people. I can't stand people like that. I cannot stand a talebearer. The Bible calls them talebearers, I believe. Just always somewhere stirring something up. And the person that went and told what I said, that individual is jealous of me anyway. You know, and I've been read that individual's energy. That's why I don't deal with the person and never will. Plus, they're not in my social class anyway. But anyway, nobody I'd socialize with. But anyway, it just goes to show that, you know, you guys, if you say something, stand on it. And I don't have a problem standing on anything that I say. I'm very careful about what I say. But if I say something, it will be the truth. And I mean what I say. And whatever I say, I don't care who don't like it. Because if I was concerned about who did or didn't like what I had to say about them or anybody else, I would have kept it in my mouth. And then, you know, it's like what I was sharing with somebody else about a situation. I said, if it's something that I don't want told, I'll keep it between me and God. So that's for the talebearers out there. If there's something that I don't want told, I will keep it between me and God. I definitely would not tell you. That was only to the talebearers. Because a lot of times people think they're stirring up mess, or they think they're causing trouble for you, and and what they don't realize is that the only thing they're doing is tearing off somebody else's mask. Because the individual that the message, I believe the message was conveyed to, was always wearing a mask when it was in my face. And I don't like fake people. I don't like people pretending to like me who don't. Because I'm not going to pretend to like anybody. If I don't like you, I don't like you. I can be courteous to somebody and not like them. But for somebody to just be flat out fake and phony, no. If I don't like somebody, they're going to know I don't like them. I'm not going to be mean to them, but I'm not going to associate with them. You know. And that's not to say I don't interact with my enemies. I interact with enemies all the time. But it's because they come in my face, I don't go in theirs. You know. Because I don't know. I'm the type of person, I don't hate anybody. But once I don't like somebody, I just don't like them. And I'm the type of person, once somebody rubs me the wrong way, it's a wrap. It's just a total wrap. But I'm also the type of person, once I'm in. I'm all in. So whoever I'm for them. And whoever I'm against them. I'm not lukewarm. I'm either hot or cold. So I love that about myself. I love the fact that if I got your back, I got your back. But if it's somebody that I don't have their back and I don't like, that's set in stone too. So, you know, this is 100 right here. All day long. I love being 100. I can't stand fake people. I always keep it real with everybody. Even my enemies. I keep it real with them. You know, and I have enemies, you know, that greet me. And I'll greet them back. It don't mean I like them, because I don't. It don't mean I got their back, because I don't. But I know how to conduct myself in a professional, adult manner. And that's what makes all the difference. And in conducting myself in a professional, adult manner, I would encourage you all to do so as well. Because that's how you're going to get through this thing called life. And that is how you're going to survive in these last days. It's by being strategic. See, that's strategy right there. When your enemies fakely greet you, and you greet them back, that's your strategy. If they say hello and you say hello, I feel that's your strategy. You have to be strategic. If they say hello and you go, ugh, that's not you being strategic, because you've just shown your hand. You always got to keep your enemies guessing, and you always have to keep them in the dark. That's what I'm talking about. So that when they think they flipping the script on you, and you flip it back on them, they shocked. They shocked because they didn't know how you really felt about them, and now you can just be like, well, I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but that's how I roll. I'm like, I don't have a problem just showing who I am to the face of my enemies, because I could look at them like, well, I didn't like you no way. I mean, and I'm talking about my enemies, and I don't. I'm not gonna say I like an enemy. I don't hate them. You can't. You're supposed to love your enemies, but like is a whole different ball game. So it's easy for me to be real because I've never been anything but real. I think we've all went through a stage, I guess, when you were younger, where you kind of just played the hand that you were conditioned to play. But it never felt right to me. It never felt right for me to interact with an enemy, a known, show enough enemy, like it was a friend. Something always felt off about it. And then when you get tired of it, you get tired of that lights, camera, action, and one day you just decide, you know what, I'm about to flip the script all the way over, and I'm about to just be 100. It is the most freeing thing. For me, it was the most freeing thing I've ever done. It was just not feeling like, just because you feel like you were conditioned to be a certain way. I'm like this. I'm not going to pretend I like somebody I don't like. So when I put those cards down, it was freeing to me. That's what I'm trying to say. Long gone are the days you see your enemies. Hey, such and such. Hey, no. No. I'm not doing that anymore. No. And I used to see enemies even in the area that I came up in. There were certain enemies I would see. And I'd be like, hey, such and such. And you know how people try to act like they don't hear you right. So I'll be like, hey, such and such. Like, you going to make them